This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update. I'm going to start with my mentor here, superstar Billy Graham. According to his wife, we reported yesterday he was taken to the hospital due to heart issues. He has atrial fibrillation. Apparently, they started an IV on him to help get the fluid off of his heart. And I guess his wife was telling him to come into the hospital for a while. And he was putting it off, but he is in the hospital now. And he appears like he's getting treated at the Mayo Clinic there in Phoenix. He does have a GoFundMe. If you want to search it up, and he does have a Facebook page, Billy Graham on Facebook, if you want to keep up to date with him, keep him in your prayers. Ric Flair has put out a statement, which is too long for me to read, that he is denying the allegations of the Dark Side of the Ring plane ride from hell episode. He was basically saying that when ESPN did their 30 for 30 documentary, they fully investigated him, and this didn't even come out then. So he's denying it. He said he was told not to talk about it, but he wanted to address it. One thing I find weird is Dustin Rhodes. They only talked about him singing on the plane. But it said in the court documents he actually grabbed the flight attendant's arms, asked if her breasts were real, asks, quote, "You and me are gonna fuck," and grabbed her rear and rubbed his groin into her rear. But Dustin Rhodes, I guess because he's Dusty's son, always gets a pass. Tommy Dreamer gets suspended from Impact, gets cut off his radio show. Ric Flair gets tarnished. But Dustin Rhodes actually appeared on AEW Dark Elevation tonight, defeating QT Marshall. So Dustin Rhodes, who in my experience with him was a drug addict piece of shit that completely ripped me and another promoter off in 2007, he gets a pass because they didn't actually talk about the accusations against him in this. But they'll throw Ric Flair under the bus. Tommy Dreamer, who just commented on it, loses his jobs. And didn't AEW suspend indefinitely Sammy Guevara for just saying that he wanted to rape Sasha Banks a little while ago, maybe a year or so ago, and he meant it using the slang term. And I'm sorry, I've been around the clubs. I know younger people. It is a slang term. I don't approve of it. But when somebody wants to have sex with a girl and they're talking, they say that term sometimes. And they don't actually mean they want to rape them. Here's Dustin Rhodes actually forcibly grabbing a girl, according to the court records, and rubbing her butt against his genitals, but they'll only put in the documentary that Dustin was singing to Terry Runnels. He gets a pass. They're very biased, these Dark Side of the Ring people. And I guess Ric Flair lost his, or at least has been put on hiatus, this Car Shield ad campaign. And apparently Ice-T, who admittedly used to be a pimp, also has a Car Shield ad campaign. So I guess according to Car Shield, you can actually pimp off prostitutes, and that's okay. But you can have allegations come out after you for 20 years, and they're going to suspend your ads. I'm not saying what Ric Flair is being accused of is right. I'm just saying there's a lot of unfairness as far as how different people are being treated. People aren't being punished equally for this, which I find a little bit weird. Apparently, that Dark Side of the Ring broadcast was the second lowest rated dark side of the ring ever, by the way. And it still did pretty much double whatever Impact does. So I find that very comical. AEW is doing an Owen Hart Cup. I think that's wonderful. Good for them for doing that. Apparently, also their show at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and I forgot to write this down, so I'm going to look it up again. Their Dynamite show coming up on Wednesday is going to be the highest attended wrestling event in the U.S., not put on by WWE for a very long time, basically since January 4th, 1999, when WCW ran the Georgia Dome. And I am quoting this from The Observer, and I actually find this funny. Currently, they are at 18,675 tickets out of 19,428 tickets sold. I'd have thought the announcement of Danielson versus Omega would have instantly sold the rest out, but that wasn't the case. Well, Omega is not a draw to anyone that's not a smart mark. And even some smart marks don't like him. I don't get it. I don't find him entertaining. I know he's Dave Meltzer's favorite wrestler, but when he was appearing on Impact, he didn't move the needle. Like, I don't see what's so special about Kenny Omega. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that back up. Adam Baum, on another note, on a positive note, he did an interview with me today. Great guy. I highly suggest people check out this interview. And he was talking about, it was funny when he was told he was being hired by WWE, Pat Patterson decided to tell him when he was taking a shower. And I do find it funny that with everyone being canceled these days, it seems like, why is Pat Patterson, there's so much stuff. Just watch the shoot interview that Sid did with me with the bizarre stuff that Pat was doing around him and all the testimony over the years about Pat. And he's still revered. So Pat gets a pass as well. And by the way, Adam Baum's dog met my dog in that shoot interview. And that was pretty cool. Really great guy. I can't say enough good about Adam Baum. I actually found a lost dog when I was on my run last night at 3 a.m, by the way, and it has been reunited with its owners.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99.